Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's been 3 years and I hope you have had a good time. I'll be changing up this channel quite a bit, but I wanted to just create a quick video to let you guys know I'm still on the platform. I'm still making fun content, and I hope that you guys will join in watching. Alrighty, let's get this game started. This is a really symmetrical opening, which is kind of strange for such a fast-paced tournament, so I'm going to try and shake it up a little bit. He is trying to get me to blunder and capture with my knight, whereby he'll get a fork. But I'm going to try something a little bit spicier and go for his pawn over here. This will be really weird to see how this plays out. Maybe bishop defends? I'm not sure. Part of this game, yeah, okay, so knight back. We'll just straight off knights then, and I'll castle. He has doubled pawns, which means he can push, but I also have double pawns, so good stuff. I'm going to push. I'm going to try and get my central pawn structure back and weaken his central pawn structure. Maybe there'll be some captures in the middle. And I'm going to try and bully his knight back. And yes, I win a knight. Look at that. The knight is pinned, and if takes... Wow, that was not a good move on his part. I'm just winning all his pieces. Woo! Alright, what a quick victory. This is almost a short. So let's analyze this real quick, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. My name is, well, I'm not going to tell you my name because I want to be kind of anonymous. But I grew up in West Africa, and I lived for 5 years at a boarding school in Kenya, and I've spent the last year at university in Tennessee in the United States. So I have a long and interesting story that I'd love to share with people. All right, let's break down the stats. I had 2 inaccuracies, 0 blunders, 0 mistakes, 21 average center pawn loss, 94% accuracy. That's not bad, but to be fair, the game was only about 16 moves long, so that's not a lot of room to make mistakes. And my opponent had 2 blunders, 53 average center pawn loss, 73% accuracy, and 2 inaccuracies. So my opponent didn't even play that bad. But in a game like this, if you make a few small mistakes, you can compile quickly. All right, let's break it down. Let's break it down all the way from the beginning. After this opening, h3 is a really weird opening. The computer says it neutralizes white's advantage, it makes the game draw. But really what it does is it allows me to develop the center, and I take full advantage of that. I get my knight out. Probably what would have been a better opening is to move my e-pawn, because I can get my pawns quicker into the center. But developing with d5, I think is a good play, because it allows me to get my knights in and my bishop in quickly. So, I'm obviously playing very conservatively and trying to get the balance of the game even and conserve time. Some of these are just very, very obvious filler moves. Like this move creates an attack, but not a very good attack, because it can be blocked by the bishop, it can be blocked by the knight, it can even be blocked by this pawn. But it's an attack, and it tried to make the opponent think. So after the opponent made an inaccuracy by moving the knight back, I was able to... Interestingly, the computer suggests I capture. I wonder what the line is. Why does the computer think that takes is the best? Let's see this computer. Takes. The computer thinks that... Oh, right, because the knight will not be able to capture. If you'll notice, knight captures is not an option because bishop captures, because knight captures with a fork will be played. So that's why you don't capture with the knight. So that was a better option because it will allow me to double the pawns of my opponent, and I should have gone with that. But I didn't. So we arrived at this position. Now here I castled, which was an inaccuracy because I should have taken advantage of the bishop. And my last inaccuracy was in taking with my pawn, doubling pieces. I decided to do that to keep the symmetry of the game and to hopefully get a pawn break on e5, which I eventually later did, but as usual, stock vision's right. Here I thought that I had an advantage. Obviously, if I move my queen to a5, then the knight can't block because it will be pinned, and then if takes, I will win the knight with my pawn. So I'll win a knight for a pawn, which is a good trade. But unfortunately, my opponent didn't see this, and instead of playing a good move, they blundered a pawn as well. So now I get to take the pawn, and I get to take the bishop with check, and the opponent quickly resigned. So that's a fun game. I'll love to keep you updated and keep this channel going, and I'd love to share as much content with you as you're willing to let me. Well, that's all for today. Have a great rest of your day, and I hope that you have. What do I hope you have? I hope you have a very nice nap at some point in the next week. All right. Well, bye.